one of my favorite things about business. It's either good or it's bad. And cash flow really determines typically how you feel about your business. Before we get rolling on that, housekeeping, Bear is going to be up next week talking all about CRMs, how to maximize your CRM. He is the salesperson at Service Autopilot. I mean, that's what he does is he presents this stuff all the time. And he's got a really, really good grip and a really, really good idea of how to maximize this, get your maximum ROI out of your CRM, because it's a very important thing that you can implement to grow your company. You can't stress that enough. And then after that, Tom Reber, super, super excited to talk to him. He's locked in for August. Like, you can't miss it. Whatever you're doing, you got to be there live. You will love Tom. Tom is my man. He's just got it going on. Like I said, he's an HGTV host. He's got a book coming out here, I believe, later in December. He's a business coach. He's basically like the go-to educator for contractors. He's just a total badass. And then next week's going to be red and green flags when hiring. I use this flag. Usually I'm talking about red flags, but we use this flag wording all the time in the business to like, hey, that's good. And then watch out for this. I'm always like, watch out for the red flags, pay attention. We all know the green flags, enthusiasm, willing to work, willing to learn, attitude, sees the vision. Okay, that's so easy to see based on, my expertise in hiring and building a team from operating a multi-million-dollar location, like that's kind of doing it without me at this point. I'm going to show the red flags I've seen, the problems that I've seen, the scary things that I've seen that, you might be inexperienced at hiring, or you may be doing what some of us get caught doing and you're in such a rush and you need somebody and you let some of these things kind of go through. So basically how to build a lean and efficient team that's profitable and it's aligned with the company's vision. But the bigger point than all of this, something me and Elijah have talked about, well, you guys heard me talk about a couple of weeks, is an in-depth and how to really work on the legal protection side. Some of the things you need to be thinking about, the documentation, the different little things. This is going to be the stuff that is really going to be the meat and potatoes of this. So if you're struggling to build a team, you must attend this live. Utilize the Q&A here today. That's where you get the most value out of these calls, is getting together and bringing the problems, and then bringing your problems that are related to this call in here and getting those taken care of, us hashing those out together. That's what the investment's for. So without further ado, my favorite topic, let's dive into it. Cash flow. Cash flow is the life and blood of your business. It allows you to grow. It allows you to cover unexpected issues. It needs to be top of mind at all time, because the things that we focus on and monitor, those are the things that get good. Like if you want to lose weight, then you count your calories. You will lose weight. Any metric like that you want to pay attention to and you want it to go a certain way, if you pay attention to it, you'll be able to control that. If you hope and pray that it's going to be better, well, most of the time it goes to shit, because it's just not how it works. So cash flow is king. And in cash flow, I know all of you guys probably know, but I'm going to reiterate this, is cash flow is the moving of funds within your business, the incoming and the outgoing money, and how that works. And there's two kinds. There's positive and negative. I'll explain positive, and negative is a no-brainer because it's the opposite. But positive cash flow means the money coming in exceeds the money going out to run your business, for overhead, for employees, and everything else. That's why the negative is pretty obvious, and we don't even need to go into it. It's the kind you don't want, when you can't cover the stuff, when it's challenging, when there's a slowdown and you're starting to get a little worried. With that being said, we're in the middle of the year. And this is the time when, some companies see a little bit of a slowdown, or maybe if it hasn't happened yet, we always typically used to have something in August happen where we just kind of slow down. Last year was the first year where we just marketed right through that. We had August sold before we even got to August. So, the grass might dry up a little bit and it might stress you out. I remember that always used to stress me out. Or kinds might be investing a little bit more in vacations because it's that time of year and they don't care as much about the project. 4th of July is gone. We don't care about how our house looks. But when we're saying this and we're getting into creative marketing, that's why we need to be thinking of all the other things, prepping them, selling a season ahead. Like, why should they still be thinking about it? If you're in a situation right now where you need to get creative marketing to fill the pipeline back up with work, that's when you have to think about marketing a season ahead. If it's already happened and you're already starting to see a little bit of a slowdown, that's when you got to get creative. Or what are the other angles or the other approaches I can do to get more work? So this is why we communicate with our email list so often. I don't know. This week, we're way up. We hadn't sent many out last week. This week, we've sent 10,000 emails so far. That is just connection. And know that when we talk about sending all these emails for us, it's not just sell, 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 sell. Some of you are probably on my email list and you probably see what our business actually emails out. Most of it's education, and it's just trying to keep in front of people and trying to help them, and constantly trying to bring value, down to, I just met a boat finance guy. We did a $13,000 project for him in Florida. He's awesome. Well, I'm pushing his name in front of all of our clients in Florida because he brings value. People down here want boats. That's another opportunity to reach out, to connect. Think of all these random things that you can be using to connect with people. And this is why we're aggressive and we don't rely on word of mouth. Word of mouth is a strategy that basically puts cash flow in other people's hands. How are people going to talk about me? Who's going to get my name out there next? It's not taking control of the situation, and it's allowing other people to control that money situation. And no one wants the feeling of there not being as much money coming in as there is going out, because we know what that equates to. It equates to massive stress in your business. It equates to freakouts. It equates to you having like a lockup syndrome because you're like, I just don't know what to do because it doesn't seem right, and I'm lost, and then that just unwinds the whole thing and slows you down even more. So it's easy to let happen when you're working hard to get the work done. The spring rush is going on. I had the same thing. It kept happening year after year after year. We'd have a slowdown in August. And what the problem was is we would work so hard to get the spring rush handled that it was all about completing the work, and you started losing focus of selling the work. And you did so good to get through it, and all of a sudden you realize, I stopped selling work. And now I fly into the bottom of July or August, and I don't have any work to keep us going. And it was a roller coaster. Then you'd get back on it, and it'd be taken back off by September. It'd be taken right back off by the end of August. So we realized we need to have more people sell. We need to be more focused on this. And we had to be more active with how we managed getting work done. So we didn't just let our eye off the ball. It's just like a good salesperson. They might be kicking ass. They might have awesome commissions if you're living off straight commission. But if all of a sudden they're out of money and they're not making commission, it's not what's happening that day. It's 30-day lag. It's a 40-day lag before the problem catches up. Well, it's the same thing when you're in spring rush and you're trying to get through the work.